Hello, Daniel. It's my real pleasure to meet with you again today.
So wonderful to see you too, Emily.
Thank you for reaching out and offering your time and your knowledge, your experience. Because in my series of real life stories for real people of the world, or from real people of the world, I'm trying to bring different perspective from people who all living in different countries other than US, Canada, or planning to relocate some business. So I found that my conversation with you today might bring a lot of valuable information and a piece of advice for our listeners.
I'm at your service, and hopefully I will be as real a person as I can.
Yes, we are both real, authentic people.
Sure.
And I know that we are both have desire to help people in Central America, in this particular case, community building in countries we have already connection with. And please tell about your experience, because I know you have years of living experience in Honduras. You engaged with business initiatives in El Salvador and Guatemala, and countries which many people from Western world, it's not there maybe to travel other than some adventurous souls, but you found, I would say, your passion, your business interest, your desire to help local people. Please explain why and how are you doing it?
Sure. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Emily. First of all, I think really the first step into Honduras for me was my sister did some missionary teaching there. And she spent 2 years in Honduras, and I was in the Army at the time. I never visited her there, but my parents did, and they met some of her friends. In 2000, she was tragically killed in a car accident. And I met some of her, a few of her friends, and we became friends. And I ended up going down and doing a mission trip with my parents. And it was, if you've never really done anything outside the country, and that was probably my first time to really go and experience another culture. It's a little bit of a controlled environment, right? Because it's a mission group. So somebody's picking you up someplace and taking you someplace, and they're doing all the thinking about, what are the opportunity was that I said yes and I showed up, and then they controlled the experience. But then at the end of that mission trip, I went over to the island of Roatan and spent some time diving with some of my sister's friends. And, that was really kind of, we figured it out as we got there. We'd never been, we didn't know what we were doing. We found an affordable place to stay, which is probably not where I'd be staying now, but it was nice. It was affordable. We got to see things and do things that you just don't get to do in most of the US. And then eventually I was introduced by my sister's friend to my wife now. And so we dated off and on. She spent some time in the US and I spent some time in Honduras. And then I decided I wanted to marry her. And I was doing some contract work in the US, and she had a successful business in Honduras. And so really we made about the same money. And I said, well, it's more fair for me to quit my job that I just have a job, but she has a business. And so moved down to Honduras in 2006 and helped my wife run her textile export business. And that really, I learned so much about the country, and some of the lessons are harder to learn than others. There are unique challenges, but that's what they are. They're challenges. And as you start to live in the environment and understand the people and the systems that are in place, they get easier to navigate. And I mean, if you think about it, there's places in the U.S. you shouldn't be at 2:00 in the morning, right?
Oh. In every country, you can find such.
In every country, you can find places where you should not be for whatever reason, right? And so, those were unique experiences. And as you start to learn, now I'm at a point where I travel all over Central America, and I don't have, I have cautions. I know what to look for, but I don't go out where I don't know the area without somebody who knows. It's just like getting to know any other new area. And what I'm looking at right now is my wife and I built a nursing school in Honduras, and it's really transforming the lives of the people around in that area. It's producing nurses, which is increasing, their healthcare level across an entire city. And so now we're working with some bishops in El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras to kind of help solve some of the systemic problems and some of the opportunities that we're seeing as we look toward how can we bring opportunity to these countries is we're starting to get business offers of, hey, I'd like to do some manufacturing in Central America. I can see how that could save me, like call it nearshoring, right? Rather than have the production in Asia and then you get stuck in the line trying to get back into the U.S. Here you have, like CAFTA is a really good incentive for producing goods here in Central America. And you can go up either coast from Honduras, right? You can go with the Pacific coast or you can go to the Atlantic coast, and they even have something called a dry canal where you unload the containers in the south of Honduras, and they have good highways that take you up to the north port, and then you can put it back on a boat and go over to the other side into the Atlantic or into the Gulf of Mexico. So those are the kind of opportunities that I'm kind of seeing. What kind of questions do you want to know about living?
It's amazing, actually, what you're doing, and your story of finding your love and life in Honduras. And what is interesting for me is that Honduras became not enough for you. You reached to other country, neighboring country. You kind of covering the whole region of not very economically developed countries, actually to help them to be more developed, to actually bring education, to bring resources, and like nursing school, like you set up a college. I'm just surprised when you.
No, the school. There was a woman who had a nursing program, but it was not up to code, so she didn't meet the government requirements. She was a priest, and she was teaching out of her church. And so they needed a facility that checked all of the boxes. And so we found some partners and we helped build a modern school. And so, and it also has a space for a clinic. So they're able to provide medical care for the local community. And there's even capacity to build a dental area. Sorry, my dogs are being noisy.
So I'm just thinking you're muted now, but
yeah, no, I'm here. I'm just the dogs are barking, so while you're talking, I'm going to mute. Okay.
I see. So you're engaging through some governmental, organization, because 3 countries, kind of with all respect, they have borders and they have different leaders, which might be not always. Engaging straightforward with each other. Or I understand you're working through the Catholic Church in where your mission. It's very interesting, I would say, engagement model.
Yeah, so it's actually the bishops are part of the Episcopal Church, but yeah, I completely agree with you in principle, right? And we are reaching out to the Catholics and to other Protestant branches. It's not like it's an Episcopal movement. The goal is to help stabilize the countries and create opportunities so that people don't feel like they have to flee to the U.S. And so that's the goal. And then I think, ideally we learn lessons about how to solve some issues with systemic poverty and generating opportunity in business that we can export to other parts of the impoverished world. So like so I know that you also love digital nomad, so I can talk a little bit about that as well.
Oh, please.
I'm a cybersecurity consultant.
Yeah.
I can work from anywhere in the world that there's good internet, and there's good internet in the cities of Central America. And so there's fiber optics. I used to have fiber optics in my house when I lived down there, and that was, over 10 years ago. So,
in Honduras, in each country, in Guatemala, in El Salvador, I understand it's not a remote village, but it's very important to point out. So good internet connections in the main cities, hubs. Okay.
Yeah. And especially if that's important to you. First of all, I'm sure the modern facilities that you are so plugged into, where they're kind of like groups for expats, I'm sure they're doing everything the right way. They're making sure that people can work from online. And like I was just really close to kind of a telecommunications industrial park. So it was very easy for me to get fiber optics in my house. And even so, I mean, it's all over the city now. I also I ran a physical security company for a while, and we were able to get, really good quality internet there too. And again, this was over 12 years ago. So this is not like, it's only better now. So, yeah.
So I believe with the upcoming crowds of digital nomads to El Salvador, your business will be more and more in need, maybe already. So what's going on now in El Salvador? Like people are already flocking. I mean, digital nomads, cryptocurrency investors, or just adventurous souls who are looking for better places to live. Please enlighten us.
Yeah. So after we finished the nursing school, we really connected with these bishops, and so it's very interesting because we're trying to chisel away at the problems of this irregular migration, right? People leaving, getting human trafficked. There's a lot of darkness there, leaving broken families, separated. There's a lot of struggles with that, going into debt to get to the U.S., for example. And so one of the things that we're doing is we're learning about what are the unique resources that each of these three countries have, and there are some amazing. Each one has something a little bit different with it, and I've been to El Salvador twice, but I was supposed to go last December, but unfortunately I caught COVID. But my team went, and they, El Salvador is really forward thinking in some interesting areas. Like they have linked their currency to crypto.
Yeah.
So they have now Bitcoin as a national currency, and my network there, they really work well together across like denominations. Churches are working with churches, nonprofits are working with nonprofits. There really is a good infrastructure that's trying to bring improvements to the people. And as that quality of life for the people goes up, as their security and safety goes up, it just makes it better for everything. It makes it better for business. It makes it better to travel. It makes it better to live there. And so a lot of these countries do offer incentives for business, for people who are interested in relocating there.
Yes.
I was a resident of Honduras for over 4 years. It let me come and go as I wanted. Obviously mine was through, it was a marriage thing. There were some hoops to jump through to get the residency, but once you have it, it's nice it becomes home, right? So, there's that line for foreigners, and then there's the line for residents and citizens, and you get to go in that line that's usually shorter and moves faster, and it's almost like, hey, welcome home, we're glad to have you back.
Do you speak Spanish, by the way?
I do speak Spanish fairly well. Yeah, I understand it very well, and I speak it bastante bien, creo.
I see. Do you find any actual cultural or other differences between these three countries, which are sharing the borders, but culture, but probably there are different?
Yes, there's a huge Mayan presence in Guatemala.
Yeah.
So it's very they're actually, I know missionaries that go to Guatemala to teach Guatemalans how to speak Spanish because they don't know. They're Mayans and they live in there's there's seven main Mayan languages. And so they don't know they can't come into the city and find a job because they don't speak the language. And so I have a friend that runs a Spanish school it's crazy, a Spanish school in a Spanish speaking country to teach the people how to speak Spanish, but it gives them opportunity. And that's one of the things that we really like there. I really love Guatemala City. That is one of the most beautiful cities I've ever been in. It has so much green space.
Yeah, I've been in Guatemala City.
Oh, it's beautiful, and they keep it clean. They really you will see people out cleaning the streets every day, and obviously that's good work, but it makes such a difference when you're going through a city and you're not seeing trash piled up. It is a beautiful city. I went down to see some of the ruins and some of the old buildings, and traveled the country. I rented a car. I drove across country. Again, I think being able to speak the language and or having a guide or somebody who can help navigate that makes a big difference. But if you, I'm going back to Guatemala next week.
So what about El Salvador?
El Salvador, it's been a while since I've been, but I went to a resort in El Salvador, on the beach. It was beautiful. There was a lot of, it was like a resort anywhere else in the world that's, beautiful and focused on providing excellent service. And it was amazing. And then also I went into San Salvador one time to see a Shakira concert. Don't tell my friends Shakira. She's pretty amazing. My wife and I had a really, really good time. And again, especially in the cities, it's modern. You find pretty much everything you want. I used to. I'm a bit of a tech guy, so when I would go to the U.S., I would buy the latest and greatest stuff, right? Because that stuff would be, either extremely expensive, and it was just easier for me to bring it myself. But if my computer lost a memory chip, it was easy to replace. And the labor of getting things repaired and stuff would just blow your mind. I'll give you a perfect example. There are problems with just like the U.S. healthcare system is a bit of a mess. I'm sure these countries' healthcare systems are a mess, but the difference is the private medical was unbelievably affordable. I got really, really sick one time, and like a stomach issue, right? And I went in and got really dehydrated. And I was like, "Hon, I gotta go to a doctor." So she took me to this private hospital. Walked in, they took my blood, and they put the stent in, and then they just like squirted blood into a vial. Something you'd never see. But here's what blew my mind. 20 minutes later, they had my blood results, knew exactly what I had. That in the U.S. would have taken 2 days, right?
Really? So level of technology and actually level of care, personal care coming from doctors, it's what I found personally in Costa Rica. My personal experience were not, actually, it was a little bit in Guatemala, but mostly in Costa Rica and Mexico, the care of the doctors and nurses, it's what I found really amazing. Because our system, sometimes it's very cold, I would say, in regards to patients.
100% agree with you. And you know, that I was there for maybe an hour and a half. They gave me 2 IV bags with some antibiotics in it. I was feeling so much better when I left. And my wife freaked out because the bill at this emergency room was $200.
Okay. No, it's love for you. For local people, it's probably different
Oh
story.
yeah, 100%. But I mean, think about that. I mean, where can you even walk into an emergency room in the United States and not pay $15,000 just for walking in? And you know, I mean, and that's not a deductible. That's like your bill is paid $200. It was amazing, and I, you know, again, every time I've had medical care, dental care is excellent. Um, I've seen specialists for like $20, $40.
So you're speaking about El Salvador now or Honduras? Just
in Honduras. Yeah, in Honduras. Sorry, yeah.
Honduras.
That's where I spend most of my time, honestly. But again, all of the big cities are modern. You can get where you need to go. You can get what you need to have. The hotels are all beautiful, the higher end hotels. And then, of course, there are also some options, the more affordable options that are also safe.
Yeah, and I believe with wave of professionals and people coming from West to El Salvador, thanks to the Bitcoin became currency for the country, and other business opportunities which government of El Salvador, in this case, really opening for businessmen, for entrepreneurs, for everyone who would like to live and join and develop this country. I believe there is a big future ahead in El Salvador as well, in other countries who would be engaged with your projects or with project of other people who would bring the opportunities, investment and knowledge to this region.
Yeah. I completely agree with you, Emily. And I will tell you too that if you have a business and you're growing it, there are people in these countries that really want to work, and they're really, the level of education, it varies greatly. You can find engineers, you can find doctors, you can find whatever you need, really. And even to the point of unskilled labor, but people who have a desire to want to learn a vocation. The lives that we changed by providing that nursing school, it was mainly serving single moms that had no way to support their families. And now they're desperately needed. I mean, so it's a nurses aid program, so a 2-year program. And in the US, that might have you cleaning bedpans and, doing basic nursing. I really don't know, but in Honduras, these women, primarily women, are going on to be ambulance EMTs. They are running hospitals, like they're running the entire administration for the hospital. Keeping track of files, giving inoculations to babies, assisting in surgeries, setting broken bones. I mean, it's just crazy because the need is so great. They have to grow in to a bigger. They're deliver babies. I mean, they just do all sorts of things because that's who they have. And if without that school, they wouldn't have those people, and those women wouldn't have the ability to provide a good living for their families. So.
Speaking with you, it's always inspiration for me to hear about not just life in different countries, which was always interesting to me, but about projects, about development, about what you and people like you already do in this region. What would be your piece of advice for other people who may be now considering if they would like to go and to find opportunities or maybe life to open new life chapter in Central America, specifically in countries you are represented now for us, Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala? What you would say?
Sure. Well, first of all, I wouldn't speaking Spanish is great, but it's not really a requirement. You can find areas where you will get along. You can find people who can help you cross that boundary, right? That's the language boundary. Just like it's like traveling anywhere, right? I would travel anywhere. Well, I travel almost anywhere in the world. There are some countries that I would avoid, but you just have to find somebody who knows. So the first thing I would do is I would find myself a subject matter expert, somebody who knows about the kinds of communities. Somebody like you, Emily.
Thank you. Yeah. So actually, I have some connection in El Salvador, in Honduras, not Guatemala yet. I've been personally in Guatemala, but I will be now looking in this direction as well. But please continue.
Yeah, no. And as I build out my connections there, I'm happy to plug you in wherever you want to be plugged in.
Thank you.
It's really, I think the opportunities that people just don't get, and it's a different way of life. I mean, if you love the beaches, you can own a piece of a beach somewhere. That's not affordable for most people in the U.S., right? I mean, that's different. And these communities that I know that you're involved in, having built a relationship with you, they're starting from we know that we're building a community for Americans. So the people who are going to come, they're going to speak English. We're going to already pre-negotiate your utilities, so that's all solved. You're going to have high-speed internet. You're going to have reliable electricity. You're going to have plumbing, good plumbing and stuff. Plumbing's not all over these countries, right? I mean, that's a luxury that not everybody has, but they're going to do it right. These planned communities, and they typically are growth minded. They're thinking, okay, well, when we fill up this part of the community, well, where can we go to build it bigger? And I think it is a great opportunity to learn about a new culture. I think digital nomads are really, I can take my laptop and go anywhere in the world and do what I do. So, when my wife has an opportunity to open a new business someplace, I'm like, all right, let's go.
So great to hear from you. And, I'm supporting community living, especially in these countries, and especially for Americans, Canadians, whoever, would like to join, because I believe soon it will be several communities of like-minded people, professionals who really can bring value to the country, to new projects they might be engaged with. So I'm excited even to think about it, how this country, I believe soon will be growing really with speed unbelievable before, helping local people and helping people who would select this country as a place of living, maybe part-time, but actually engage in communities to bring their knowledge, experience, and enjoy life, enjoy beaches, enjoy volcanoes, enjoy traveling, and learning about different cultures, about different people, because all this help us to open our mind even more and actually to learn something about ourselves, not only about people around, but to find something maybe best of us and learn how to be better version of ourselves.
Yeah, and I will just kind of say this in closing. I think a lot of us are looking around and seeing our countries aren't what we thought they were 2 years ago.
Yes.
And so just knowing, and I've traveled all through COVID to both Honduras, Guatemala, and the Dominican Republic, and Mexico. I crossed into Mexico as well, and flew into Mexico. So twice I've been to Mexico. You can find a place as the world shifts. You should know what else is out there, because you might find a place where you can live the kind of life you want to live in a better way. So, and having options is always good.
Thank you, Daniel. Just tips for you and others. Like I'm in process of part-time relocation to Mexico now, because actually I would like to get more connection and more information for other people about central Mexican states, which kind of less known to the white public. People know about beaches, but what's going on in central Mexico, cultural, business, and living opportunities, it's what I'm about now. And I'm here to help everyone actually to find the best place to live, work, or retire, to enjoy the life, to be part of the community, and to engage with community. And I'm really grateful for you, for our conversation today. And I hope we will meet each other again and we will have a lot of stories to share. Thank you, Daniel.
On a beach somewhere, right, Emily?
Maybe beach, maybe nice city, maybe in a border, maybe we will be engaged in some project, who knows?
I think that would be amazing.
I might be in El Salvador. I'm moving to Central America slowly, at least with my business. Thank you.
I am blessed to have you as one of my subject matter experts who I can call and get my questions answered. And you are a real blessing to me. And definitely, if you're not connected with Emily, reach out, introduce yourself, and ask her what it's like to live on the other side.
Thank you. Thank you, Daniel. Very appreciate your words.
There are many reasons people choose to make the move to the destination of their dreams. Remote workers can work from anywhere with an internet connection. Today, virtually every part of the world is online. Once just the lifestyle of digital nomads, the pandemic has led millions of people to work remotely. Many are choosing to move to a foreign location. Retirees, too, discover how their nest egg can go farther when living in a location that offers a better quality of life while reducing expenses. At International Lifestyle Consultants, we have scoured the world to uncover the best foreign destinations to call home. Perhaps you dream of a pastoral life in the quaint European countrysides of Italy or Portugal. On the shores of the Black Sea, you can find luxury accommodations at a fraction of what you would pay in the United States and Canada. Enjoy a leisurely lifestyle of Caribbean or Pacific trade winds found in the beachside communities of Mexico, Central and South America. Choose from the many charming colonial towns located in the same region. Discover areas with quality access to dental and health care that have attracted many foreign travelers on a budget. We make choosing to live in your dream destination a reality. We have curated migratory, cultural, and investment opportunities that you will not find elsewhere. We know firsthand how to help you create your step-by-step relocation plan. You'll begin your journey by filling out our Know Yourself questionnaire. We can also arrange discovery tours so you can experience the culture up close and personal prior to making your move. You don't have to dream of living in an exotic location. Contact us today and make that dream a reality.